The time has come to hear the creators themselves talk about their book, Eternal. Now, before we get into this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. It definitely goes a long way to help the channel out, and I can't express how much I really appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into this conversation. I gotta say, first and foremost, thank you so much to Aranga and David for the opportunity to, have a brief moment with you guys. I know it was probably a busy weekend at HeroesCon, so thank you just for giving me the opportunity to, talk to you guys about Eternal. It was really an honor, really. So, thank you. So I'm just excited for this opportunity, and it's always awesome to be able to talk to creators about a book that they are excited about, and that's the impression that I got from both of them, David and Eranga. And it's really cool to see the artwork on the inside of this, because Aranga's artwork is different when you look at his cover art, which is amazing, and then you look at the interior work that he did in here, which is also amazing. Different styles. I'm not going to say anything more because he kind of touches on that a little bit when we talk about it, but I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can purchase this ashcan. So definitely take advantage of that. Check it out. Go ahead and I'm telling you, it's very, very cool. So go ahead, check out the link. I don't want to cover up David's signature. But yeah, go ahead, check out the link in the description. You can purchase this now. Keep an eye out for the issue 1 when that comes out. So without further ado, David, Byrne, and Aranga D, you're up. So, if you want to give yourself a little introduction, what you're all about, your little history of, your work in comics and stuff like that.
Sure.
Just let me know.
All right. So my name is Aranga D, as you know.
Yeah, as I know.
I am primarily a comic book cover artist. I've done work for Dynamite, Scout Comics, Dark Horse, with Frank Miller's 300 a couple of years ago. And that's my background, man. I'm out here doing comic book covers, and we're about to hopefully by the end of the year, we've got an ashcan here, but it's myself and writer David Byrne. We're the co-creators of a book called Eternal.
Yes.
And we've got the 8-page ashcan here at Heroes in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's been going well, man. I've been getting some good feedback about it. People seem to be excited. I'm thrilled, but appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yeah.
So I like the cover, man. It's got like this negative space looking kind of thing, man.
Yeah.
So what was that? The cover. What was the focus or the idea behind the cover itself?
We wanted to kind of lean into the theme of the book a little bit. It's a little bit on the darker side. It's a superhero tale, but not your classic superhero tale.
Mm-hmm.
The superhero is kind of the window dressing to a deeper story. So even though, well, pick it up right here.
Yeah.
So even though, like, you can see, you got the hero front and center here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look a little bit deeper, you got the guy that's the host, like in shadow. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing, I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Like, to show the story is actually more focused on the life of the host who turns into the superhero versus the superhero himself. And as far as like why I kind of work in this style, it's become my natural style is a lot more comic booky, for lack of a better term. But I find when I'm doing cover work, a lot of people request this style because I started it off just as a decompression tactic from like just doing normal stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just seemed to catch on, and that seems to be a lot of the cover work that I've done.
Yeah.
people have actually requested, whether it's an editor or like the owner of the property, they're like, hey, we like your negative space stuff, so do that. So like the Miller cover, that's kind of what it ended up being, and it was almost accidental, man, that I kind of fell into it. So
Nice.
that's become my
It's your thing,
my
man. 'Cause
thing
like,
now.
yeah, because like a couple of years ago when I first met you, like this caught my eye. The cover right here, man.
Yeah.
Like 300 Frank Miller, and you're doing this. I'm like,
I also think like just like two colors, like without making everything super busy with a bunch of colors,
yeah,
like it really kind of stands out on a rack.
yeah.
So yeah,
I love it too because like the black and red, and now you're going with Eternal
with the blue,
and black.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I like it.
We try to keep it simple, man. I try to keep it simple because the more, once you go beyond like I think you can get away with some accents with the third color.
Yeah.
But once you go beyond it, man, you kind of lose the effect
right.
of it being in negative space.
Yeah.
So that's what I try, and bold and graphic.
So you did say, and I noticed this also, like the interior art that you're doing as well. It's first of all, I do love it. It is different than what I've seen your cover art.
Yes.
Like the style.
Yes.
Yes. And that's not necessarily, that's not a bad thing because it shows. I'm no artist, of course, but it shows like versatility. Sure. I feel like
it's more. It's I would say like growing up, like from the time I started drawing, that's more my natural style. The more of a comic book traditional style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a kid of the '90s, so I'm influenced by
likewise
all those guys. So like Dale Keown and like Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, those guys. So obviously, growing up and learning to draw, that's kind of what I trended towards. But I got to give the people what they want.
Right. Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. So as far as the creative process working with David Byrne.
David Byrne, yeah.
How was that? How did that come about?
Wonderful, man. I've known David for years now. David, in fact, he's written a bunch of books. He writes and he created the Stake franchise. So Jessamy, and then canceled, and many others that I can't even name. But so David actually was the first person to. Yeah. My first published cover that I ever did was with David. So we've known each other. Like that relationship has kind of continued. So every time he has some kind of book coming out, he's like, "Hey man, I need a cover from you." I was like, "Yeah, I'm there, man."
I got you, man.
So creative process. I've kind of had this idea in my head for like a long time, like the basic bones of the story.
Yeah.
I'm no writer, man. So I reached out. David and I have been talking about it. He was like, "Hey, when are we whatever?" And then I was like, "Hey, I think I'm kind of ready to."
Yeah.
And then David just brought his magic to it. He's every bit like the co-creator here, man. So filled out, rounded the story out, kind of. We brainstormed. It's a very natural back and forth with him. We kind of talk every day, and we got this 8 pages out, and I feel like we're just hitting our groove, man.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it because, like I said, I read it, and I'm really looking forward to that first issue.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, what would be if someone wasn't familiar with this? What would be your, I guess, elevator pitch?
Yeah, good one.
Book.
I've actually had like several people ask me like what the elevator pitch is, and I'm terrible at this, man. Okay, so I'm naturally long-winded. Like people watching it will probably figure that out already.
However you want.
Let me put it this way. Let's say the equivalence is Billy Batson, Shazam, Donald Blake, Thor. Like the concept is a host that turns into a superhero.
Okay.
But that host has no control over what the hero does. The host just. So in our book, the host goes into what's called like a void, and he just kind of sits there and sees the world through the eyes of the superhero while he goes out and they're two separate things. So it's not like the guy transforms and becomes muscular and gets powers and it's still him.
Right.
He's just a passenger now as soon as he transforms into the hero. So
along for the ride.
Yeah. So when you think about Donald Blake and when you think about Billy Batson and like that kind of transformation, Rick Jones and Captain Marvel, you think like, hey, that's kind of cool that they get to be a superhero, but they do nothing. They just sit in this void, and like they lose relationships with people that they love, family, they miss birthdays, funerals, weddings. And so the story spans about 5 decades. It starts off in the 70s and it's told in flashbacks between current day and kind of filling in the gaps. So the first 8 pages, you may have noticed, starts off in current day and it flashes back
Flashes
to
back.
the 70s when this happened. And basically, it's a story of kind of what kind of sacrifice you have to make when you're in that position as a host, and it's no cup of tea, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So, man, I'm excited. So, how many? Is this supposed to be like an ongoing thing or like a limited series? Like,
we're
what's that thing?
trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves, right?
Okay.
So we're hoping people dig it. The goal is this will be a 32 page, maybe 40 page
Yeah.
one shot, one and done. So
Okay.
you get to buy the book and you see the whole story play out. You don't have to buy multiple issues. You don't
Okay.
have to kind of wait around. There it is. If it does well, if it resonates with people, we've got an idea for a second volume and
Okay.
maybe more beyond that. But we're trying not to get that far ahead.
Just take it one step at a time.
We're
So,
very
yeah.
excited about it, man. I'm very excited about it. It's not often you get the opportunity to kind of put something that's in your head kind of out like this
Right.
and in a product, and it's I'm very excited about it. I love this story, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, people feel the same way when they
Yeah.
read it, and
I'll tell
we
you
get to
what,
keep doing it.
like I said, man, I read it. I'm excited. And I love the way that it was done with, like you said, the flashback, because he walks up to the store and he's looking in the reflection, and that's when it kind of goes back to like the 70s where he's having this memory.
Yeah,
I love it. I like that kind of setup, that way that the story is told, and of course your art is really cool. Like, it brought me back a little bit
Yeah.
from them younger days when I was reading in the 90s, things like that.
yeah,
So I love that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
and thank you.
oh, hey, no problem, man. No problem. So, all right. Any last things you want to say on it? Anything you have upcoming with other work, appearances, where they can find you on the socials? All that
Honestly, I'm throwing all my weight behind this right now, man. I'm trying to I'm doing the character designs. We span 5 decades, like I said, so I have to do a lot of
stuff?
research
It's a lot,
on,
yeah.
hey, what did people wear in the 70s? What did stuff look like in the 70s and then the 80s? And I'm all right with the 80s. I was born in 79, so I got an idea.
I was born in 81. So
And then the 90s I got down, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's an element of research, there's an element of character design and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm really throwing myself into this. To answer your question, look for me on my socials. I'll be sharing things as we go along. I'll be at DragonCon later this year. So if anyone's around, come see me at DragonCon. Yeah, that's it. OAX next year, but that's like in January. But we're hoping around that time we'll have the book ready to debut. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So around DragonCon, around that time you said?
Well, I don't think we'll have it ready for DragonCon, but
Okay.
by the time Original Art Expo in Florida rolls
Okay.
around in January, we should have it. We're going into this with we're trying to put the least amount of pressure on ourselves to have it ready to go at a certain time.
Okay.
As the story marinates, as we got things together, etc., we'll
I like it. Rather take time and perfect it as best as possible than try to rush it out.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's absolutely it.
So last question,
Yeah.
where will people be able to find this?
Oh, it's another great question. We're self-publishing.
Yeah.
That's the idea for now. That's what the ashcan is. So we'll have more information. There's information in the back of the ashcan about David's website, davidbyrne.com, and eventually we may have some of the ashcan copies ready for sale online. We're not sure yet. We've sold a bunch of them, so I haven't
Nice.
even taken stock of how much we have left. But eventually it'll be via online sales. There'll be some retailers that are partnering with us exclusively that'll have some copies. If you want it, you'll be able to find it. We'll make sure people.
Yeah.
We'll make sure
For
we'll
sure.
make it as painless as possible to get it into people's hands.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Hey,
I
brother.
appreciate it a lot.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
definitely looking forward to it.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. So David Byrne, I'm here. So just kind of introduce yourself a little bit, stuff you've worked on in the past.
Sure.
Things
Yeah,
like that.
I'm David Byrne. I am a writer, publisher. I am the CCO for Metal Ninja Studios, the publisher for AMP Comics, and I am the writer of Steak, Canceled, Spy Deer Man, The Couch, and the upcoming Aeternal.
Eternal. Nice. So when I was talking with Aranga, I kind of asked the idea of the story. So you being the writer, I kind of want to get your perspective on that as far as where the story idea came from and how that came about.
So I've known Aranga for almost 5 years, and we've always worked together, and has him doing covers for me, and I, because I write my series, and he actually came to me with the idea that he wanted to do a book and he wanted to draw it, and he had some thoughts jotted down, so we went over them. He sent me a Word doc, and I sent it to him with a bunch of red lines with like a million questions, and then from there we just kind of kicked around ideas for almost a year, and then basically I said, hey, we got to put a timeline on this and start getting it done.
Yeah.
So we really dug in and really developed the plot, and we got it ready for Heroes. We got the 8-page issue ready in, he tells me it was 11 days. I think it was more like a month.
So this is being at HeroesCon.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the debut of this ashcan.
Yeah, we didn't even tell anybody about this. It just, we weren't sure we were going to make it.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got the production files, he started posting online. But yeah, this is the actual debut of this book.
Nice. So what is the long-term plan? Like, is it going to be like a mini series, like ongoing? Like, how is that going to be?
We have one specific self-contained story that we're going to tell. We're going to see how it goes, and then it is kind of, the setup lets us do it where we could go forever. So
nice.
If it's successful, if we want to keep doing it, we'll keep doing it.
Nice.
So I know we want to keep working together. At least I'll keep working with him. I don't know about the other way around, but so even if it's not this, we'll figure something else out to work on.
Nice. So I did read that. He gave me a copy, and I read it, and I really enjoyed it. I like how this is kind of setting things up, because it kind of like, from my understanding, it's giving you not necessarily an origin, not at all, but it's more like a background,
right?
So to speak.
No, we kind of jump right in.
Yeah.
And this, it may come off from the images as sort of a superhero story, but it's not really.
Yeah.
It's about there is we'll call it like a fourth dimension, interdimensional beings, and they're trying to come into our world. Some of them have good intentions, some are bad, and they have to take a human host. So the bad one shows up, our hero, he shows up and takes over our main character, Arun's body, saves the day, but now they're connected. And basically what it leads to is, this is now Arun's life, and it consumes him. When the traveler comes, he's gone. He's in a void, and the traveler's out doing his thing. When he comes back, he's got to try to keep his life going, but it's very hard to maintain relationships when you're in this kind of situation and you can't tell anybody what's going on. Yeah. So it's mostly about what's going on for Arun versus being a book with they're big fights and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of the book. That's the backdrop.
Nice. That's really, I like that. And he was telling me too, like, it takes place, like, kind of go through different eras,
right,
like decades or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. So this ashcan, as you saw, it kind of starts in the early 70s. Yeah. He's in college. Modern day, it goes all the way through modern day. So we're going to see what happens to him over his life and what impact it has on him, mentally, physically, relationships, all that.
Awesome. Yep. Well, I'm definitely excited, man. So if you could just let people know, like, where they can find you, where they'll be able to find this, when they'll be able to find this, and anything else you want to add.
Yep. If you can find me on social media on pretty much every platform as David A. Byrne, and it's DAB282 is the slash or at on every single place. These will be available on my website after the show, and that is davidabyrne.com. So I think that's pretty much it. And when you get it, you can find all of us, and there's even a QR code.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
You have any other appearances coming up, like other cons or anything like that?
I will be at San Diego floating around. Tampa Bay Comic Con will be doing a panel about making comics. And then I will actually be in Texas at the Mockingbird Lane in September. So
nice. Awesome, man. I greatly appreciate your time, man. I definitely appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this. I love that. When I read it, it was awesome. It was like a good little setup. I like it a lot. So I definitely appreciate it, man.
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. again, guys, I appreciate it so much for the opportunity. And I hope you all check out the link in the description to pick up Aeternal, the ashcan, and check it out, man. Check it out. It's definitely worth it. I love the build. I love the setup that the ashcan provides and get you ready for that first issue. So, yeah, man. I just I'm excited, man. I'm just happy about this opportunity. So, with that being said, man, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Thanks again, David and Aranga.